Well, what do we have here? Copying files? Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting.
This computer will rule the world.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to Hold and Modify. This is Q, YouTube's most underproduced, poorly produced Amiga channel. And today I'm recording off screen and I'm recording in glorious 4K 60 FPS because when I do off screen recordings like this, having all of the resolution that you can get in the video definitely helps, doesn't it? So, what are we doing here with this? Well, those of you that watch my channel regularly, that word is always hard to say, I am over here on the Amiga 500, which has a Apollo Firebird in it, and I have made some progress. What kind of progress, you might ask?
Get on with it.
And I've gotten to a point where I will now lower my thumb. Ooh, Amiga.
Get on with it!
Ooh, 3.2, yes. I was able to figure out how to get 3.2 to run on this, which of course should be possible because it is, after all, trying to recreate Amiga hardware. And for all of you out there that have paid your good money for OS 3.2, it's your given right to try and install it on all your Amigas as possible, right? So here we go. I will say, and I will point this out again, and you're going to have to trust me on this if you can't see it, I only have 494K of chip memory. I may have 526 megabytes of fast RAM, but this is a Rev 5 NTSC Amiga 500, and it is very chip memory starved. So what that means, I can't run a lot of programs, not the stuff that I like to run normally. Workbench is being retargeted right now to a RTG screen, so it's fine. It doesn't eat up any of the chip RAM. But when I go to launch one of my trusted programs, yes, and I did copy it over here, you know I did. Good old Lightwave here. When I go ahead and do this, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So if you try to open Modeler up with only 512K of chip memory, this is what happens. I'm melting! Melting! Isn't that great? That's very cute. Oh, can you see that? I guess if you look really close or zoom in on the video, you can see it. I could zoom in on the video for you, but why would I do that? So Modeler won't work because it can't open up its screen with only 512K of chip memory. Lightwave is a little more forgiving. So what we're going to have to do is, you'll notice now my chip memory is 82K. And that's because Modeler attempted to open and did this. It started to open its screen in memory and then stopped and didn't continue to stop. So it's just sitting here in memory, gray screen, dead. So we have to reboot. So that's what happens when you try to run programs that need more than 512K chip memory. That would happen on a normal, unmodified Amiga as well. In fact, that's why this happened. Even though there's a Firebird in here, the chip RAM portion of this Amiga is still fully active and doing its thing. And yeah, there's nothing it can do about it. So luckily, Lightwave, as I said, does work. You can open up Lightwave, and this is the program I prefer anyway because that's where all the fun stuff is. So this will open up, and I've immediately retargeted it using the mode promotion tool to get it to open up on a RTG screen, thus saving me precious chip memory. And one of the first things I'm going to do is go to options and set the screen to 800 by 600, 8 colors. And I've also mode promoted this screen, so now we get a nice, clean, flicker-free screen. And as you can see, it's pretty much on par with what you'd suspect. This isn't super fast scrolling smoothing. It's decent. It's pretty good. It's about the same as my 1200. And that makes sense considering there's a quote-unquote 68080 in here pushing this OCS chipset. And remember, this whole thing, like you clicking in Lightwave and moving around like this is a combination of CPU power, but also the graphics chipset, how fast that OCS can refresh the screen based on what you're doing. That's why Lightwave was so desirable on AGA machines, because that faster Alice chipset would push these screen modes a lot quicker. It could push more data through the chipset, so these were much more interactive, and that was great for animation for obvious reasons. But this is still pretty good. This is actually really good. The Firebird CPU is definitely pushing the data through. I'm sure it's completely bottlenecking the OCS chipset too. But at least we can open up Lightwave, which means, yeah, you can go and open up a scene, like the TV guy scene, for example. We'll open this up real fast. And I'm going to set the camera to something low and make sure, yeah, no, 8-bit ham is not going to work. If you set this to 8-bit ham, it won't freak out. I mean, I hate always using this, but on a real Amiga, if you set this to 8-bit ham and you don't, there you go. See, this option requires an AGA Amiga. So it's going to tell you right away, hey man, this isn't going to work. So you got to go back down to 6-bit ham. But you don't. So what we can do is dump back out using left Amiga N to the workbench. And we can go to, let's clean this up because this is a mess. Cyber Graphics Render Prefs. And we can pick our screen mode, if I could ever find the program again. Okay, so we're not going to scale picture to fit. We're going to select the screen mode, and we're going to pick something that's cyber graphics friendly. I'm going to go really conservatively and just do 800 by 600 16-bit. Now you might be like, why are you doing 16-bit? Why not 24-bit? That's a great question. Well, let's do 24-bit. Click OK, click Save, and now we're going to go back to Lightwave. And we'll pick Cyber Graphics, and it's going to ask for an assign, which I have not done. That's why it's coming up. But Workbench 3.2 lets you do a temporary assign. So we're going to go assign. We're going to pick where my Lightwave is at, which is Work Lightwave. Click OK. There you go. So all it was doing is it was looking for the folder where Cyber Graphics' config was, so it'll work. So now if we press F9, it'll go ahead and fire up, and you'll get to see it do its render here. Look at that. Look at that raw processing. That's actually pretty fast. I know we're doing super low res, but still pretty impressive. It's quick. And now we should see a lovely, there you go, nice Cybervision 64 screen. You know, their version of the Picasso, the Saga screen. And because I didn't do scale to fit, it's just going to show me a 1-to-1, so a 1-to-1 size of what the actual image is. And I actually like this because this gives you an idea of what you're actually rendering. So it's like, wow, this is a 320 by 240 image, and it's tiny. I mean, this is a 1980 panel, right? 1920 by 1080. So there you go. But you could do scale to fit, and then it would scale it to fit the 800 by 600, but then it'll mess with the aspect ratio, and you always want to see what your render looks like 1-to-1, and this is the best way to do that. So we can go back. Isn't he cute? I'm actually doing a upcoming Lightwave tutorial video on lighting tricks with lights. Of course, being a 35-year-old program, you don't really have a big choice of lights here. You basically have distant, point, spot, and ambient. So I've got some tricks I can show you how to get more modern style lighting, even out of a 35-year-old program. You'll look for that video in the future. It will be a Lightwave basic lighting video. So yeah, just mention that for now. And I'm probably going to use this scene because it's a cute one. And so yeah, Lightwave does work, and you can see now. Does that mean you can't? Yeah, you can use 6-bit ham. I showed you the Picasso because that looked nice and clean. You can use 6-bit ham. That'll work. Let's show this here, and I'll just go ahead and speed through this. Okay, so there you go. Because this is using the native ham chipset, you get the nice full screen image, and yeah, then you can really see how low res it is on this monitor. It's pretty pixelated. And yes, it is a ham image. Now, I want to point out, some people might be like, ham doesn't look this bad. Is this a problem with the Firebird? Well, keep in mind, you're not looking at anything the Firebird is doing graphics-wise right now. This is all native Amiga chipset for the image you're seeing. There's nothing going through the Firebird now. The only thing the Firebird is doing is grabbing the video from the video chip on the Amiga and sending it out through the HDMI. That's all it's doing. It's basically doing a merge. So you're seeing the native Amiga mode. So why does this ham image look so, I don't know, bad, right? There's a lot of fringing on the left over here. There's a lot of banding and color. So this is something I've mentioned in previous videos. Lightwave has a very bad ham renderer. So this is mostly the fault of Lightwave, which is why in previous videos I mentioned please don't save out animations from Lightwave in ham mode, because it's easy, because you're going to end up with a lower quality ham image. It's always best to save out nice IFF files or JPEGs or TGAs, and then bring them into a processing program like Image Effects or Art Department Professional and have it render the ham screen, because it will do a much better job. And I've showed you in previous videos, it does a much better job. So always try to avoid using ham mode in Lightwave. And even ham 8 in Lightwave, which does look okay, it's a little better obviously because it's ham 8, it still doesn't look as good as it can. So you always, down here, the whole save images, you always want to save out your 24-bit IFFs and then make the animation yourself in another program. Don't let Lightwave do it with the save animation button. Don't count on Lightwave's ham renderer. It's just not good. Which is why, if you have a Picasso card, you can use Picasso for showing your image, or in our case, the CyberGraphics, as I've shown. And you'll get a much better, cleaner result. At least a better... The funny thing is, ham 8, when done with Art Department Professional, honestly, it looks very, very close to Picasso or CyberGraphics 24-bit quality. It's really impressive. I was actually kind of blown away by that. Now, that was the Lightwave and showing that. You might be asking, well, hey, you kind of mentioned the whole AGA thing when you tried to show that AGA wasn't working in Lightwave. So AGA is a work in progress. It's currently in beta, and it does work for a lot of folks. It does not work for me. I have a very old Amiga 500. It's got half a meg of chip memory. It's a Rev 5 NTSC, and it's just currently not working in AGA mode. So I hope to get a ROM at some point. They are updating the ROMs quite often in the beta program, and I will hope to show you some cool AGA stuff. But in the meantime, is there anything else we can do while I'm showing you this update? I've got Amiga OS 3.2 installed, as we know, so yeah, that does work. Let me go ahead and smash the SD mounter here. This is going to mount the micro SD card that is in there, where I have all my little goodies stashed. Let's copy over another challenging program like Vista Pro. So Vista Pro can be it can be a fussy program. It does not like being mode promoted. It will often crash even on original Amigas. So I'm not going to even attempt that at this first launch. You're going to be watching this with me, by the way. Let's double click this. It may not have enough chip memory to launch. Let's see. What's it going to do? Exciting, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Look at that software failure. All right. Well, is there anything else in here we can try? So now we have Forge. Will Forge run? I'm guessing no. Ooh. Well, sort of. Now, Forge does open up a interlace screen, so one of the things we can do with Forge is retarget it. So we'll bring up our good old Mode Pro. We'll find Forge, and we're going to promote it to I don't know, something Amiga-ish friendly. Let's do 720 by 576. Click Save. Go back to Forge. And we're going to quit. Okay, let's try Forge again now that it's got mode promotion active. There we go. Now it's not flickering, at least. This is suspect. Let's load in a attribute. We will load in. Let's do swirls. Let's do fire swirl. Okay, so as you can see, that is working. That's good. Oh, I love Forge. It's such a fun program to create procedural images with. One of the things Forge does, it does have a show Picasso, so you can actually render and see it in full 24-bit. It supports Firecracker, Opal, and EGS. It also has view modes where you can pick the display. Now, I can try and go to 8-bit ham, and because I'm retargeting, it might work. in a weird way because what Forge does, it actually opens up a 256 color screen. So 8-bit color mode in Forge is not ham 8 or ham mode. It's the 256 color mode. And if I do this, it's going to write to the config file, and I'm going to have to delete Forge and start over if it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and select it. Yeah, now it says cannot open display screen. So, as you saw, when I tried to launch Forge again, it was giving us the can't open screen error, so now you're trapped, right? Oh no, I'm trapped. No, you just got to go to sys prefs nv archive, and you need to delete the Forge config. Delete. Bye-bye. Quit. Quit. And now you can go back to Forge, and you can once again run it. And the mode promotion will still be valid because it's going to recognize the screen, but you're no longer in the display 8-bit color. So yeah, unless you have an AGA chipset, do not pick 8-bit color. There is no escape. But yeah, as you can see, Forge does actually open its screen. It's able to open it up, and we are doing good. Let's open another fun one. Techno Wall. Look at that. It's so techno. Let's do a flat top, and then we'll turn on the specular. It's pretty quick, by the way. I mean, watching how fast this Firebird is updating the Forge screen is very impressive. I'm liking that a lot, actually. Cool. So that's cool. So we got Forge working. So if there's a decent chunk of the software I like to use that works. I can't use Modeler with 0.5 mega chip memory, but at least Forge and Lightwave, which are kind of my cores. I don't have Art Department Professional installed. There is no reason AdPro should not open up, because AdPro lets you actually set how much memory it can use. I'm sure I would just have to tell Art Department Professional, look, you've got 400K of memory to open up images with, so good luck. And that's, you know, it'll respond in kind, right? So that's where I will be with that. So I'm not going to do this now. I've showed you guys AdPro before. I don't want to have you sit through an entire install of that. But so yes, this has just been my overview and update of where I'm at with the Firebird, and I'm making progress. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.